Hey YouTubers, welcome back. Just got a little short video today making some little bolts, some little screws for a 1920s gramophone, believe it or not. I think it holds the horn onto the main body. So we just got a little video just showing making those now. We'll get on with it. So first job, we'll turn the outside diameter down to the head diameter, if you will, of this bar stock. I've already done the very end bit and just checked with a mic. I'll show that a bit later on. I tend to do this sometimes. Stuff like this, you take the bar stock down to the diameter just by a 1/4 inch, so at the end measure it off, and then we've got that we can work to. If you're not using a centre with something this long, if you do like one deep cut, it tends to be better because the main body is supporting the bit that you're actually cutting, so it doesn't flex as much because you're taking just one deep cut off. And just one thing I'll just note as well, apologies for some reason during this filming we lost the sound. I think it was a bad connection from the microphone. So all this machine, even though it's only the machine you're listening to running, we've actually lost the sound of this, so it'll just be silence and me talking. Excuse me, I'm coughing a little bit, apologies for this. Just got a bit of a sore throat at the moment. So just doing a double check for the overall the outside diameter. I think it was about 3/8 of an inch, I think, something like that. But I just, like I said, just use the original just to give us that the dimensions that we needed. I think now I'm just measuring the bolt for the length up to the head, so it's actually the shank length, if you will. So I just use the marker pen, and then with the caliper, I don't like using the calipers a lot for this sort of thing, but then just marking just needs a slight faint marking that marker pen, and then we've got a shoulder to turn up to, and the main shank is 1/4 inch in diameter. Because I think the actual thread was 1/4 BSF, so we'll just turn up to that mark. Like I said, these aren't super critical. I wouldn't be surprised if the 3 original bolts are just slightly different, so I say it's just to give us something else. This is what I'm doing here again, just doing the end, just a little bit 1/4 inch so at the end, and then just check that, and then once we've got it set, we can just wind the tool straight through with that diameter. I think it just needed another 1/10 thou off, I think, which I just wound in on the cross slide. Just another check just to make sure. Yep, spot on. So we'll just wind this through now, so into the shoulder. That's the correct diameter. A little bit of a spring pass, and then what I'll do here, if you just watch, I'll just wind the top slide out, the cross slide out, and that just puts us a proper shoulder, square shoulder on the end of that. Little chamfer tool, and what we'll do is just put a leading edge for the die to run onto. Slow the lathe down a bit as well when you're doing anything like chamfering or anything like that. Just always run it nice and slow. and take a very, very light cut. Reason being is, over this sort of length, you might just get that little bit of a dig in and it trying to ride over. So just do it gentle, sorry, not slow, actually. You feed very, very slowly. Again with the marker pen. And this is just a mark just to give us an idea of roughly where we're going with the length of the threads. We'll just get a little bit of cutting fluid, and then with the die just run down this is quarter BSF. You can use the chuck of your tailstock if you want to square this up a little bit, but it went on pretty square. The boring bit watching me do this, and I know exactly what a lot of you are thinking if you've seen my previous videos, where we made a handle, a drive handle to go into the bore of the lathe spindle, where we can drive it for doing exactly this operation. Yeah, about this point I did think I need to get that out, and on the next two, which I ain't shown on the video, the next two I made, I did use the drive handle, which you've seen that video before, so you know how that works and how it drives. But just save your left hand a little bit, and it's a lot quicker. So yeah, we use that for putting it on and then obviously winding it back off again. So once you come up to your line, just break the thread a little bit and then just wind it back out. And that then is your thread cut. It's a long thread. Now we're gonna part off, leaving enough room to put the dome head on if you're on the end of the bolt. I'm going to part that off. Now, a little trick here that I sort of do, you'll see when I bring the cutting oil in. If you just put the tool close up to where you're going to start cutting, obviously, and I've also just locked the carriage as well. You just have it lock the carriage there, so it won't move on you. If you actually put it on, if you look just on the blade and let it run down into the work, what I found is if you try and just put it on the work sometime, by the time it's done a rotation, most of it's flicked off anyway. But this way, you know your cutting oil's gone down into your cut. And it actually does put a bit on the shaft beforehand. So as always, run quite slow when you're parting. If you get any chatter, just slow the machine down even more. But you just want a steady feed, if you will, when you're winding it into the work, just a steady pressure. And you'll tend to find you won't get any problems. The old piece of cardboard ready to catch it. It won't quite stop there on its own, so I have to sort of hold it with my right hand and use my left hand on the feed. So you get a nice cut if you just take it steady. You can see the big flakes coming off, the big chips coming off. Bingo, we're done. You have a couple of choices here. You can either the little pip that's left, you can either machine that off first, but luckily the shampoo tool we're using next, we'll soon get rid of that. That's the little pip there, you can see, and that's where the dome's going to go. So we'll come to the box with two things. One is the the collet chuck was already set up on here, so obvious choice, and also the form tool was already set up in the tool holder for the Boxwood from something else I was doing. So just locking the spindle. Two reasons for the collet chuck. One is for the accuracy, the one is it doesn't damage the threads like a normal chuck would. So I'll just lock the spindle and tighten that up. I've also got you set over here on an angle so you can actually see the form tool. I had to place it on the angle to. It was actually made for something else, but I managed just to use the same curve. You look that paired to the curve, just gives me exactly what I wanted. So as long as it's on this angle, if you'd done it square, you'd have got a totally wrong curve on. So that's why I've got your camera over this way, so you can see back at the tool doing the job. So you see, I'll machine this little pip off first. And what I actually found was the tool was just a little bit low, just there right under the pip. So we just lifted it up a little tad, and off it went, and there we go, spot on centre right this time. I'll start bringing the tool in. I left the black marker pen on there, so it just shows a bit more for you. What I'm actually going to do as well, when I do sort of get down to finishing this dome, I'm just going to leave a little edge. The original screw didn't have this, it was just a complete dome, but I've just left this sort of little edge. I think it looks nice, but also I think it makes it a little bit stronger head, because instead of being a thin edge that can get damaged easily, it's just that a bit of meat behind it, if you will. So if you look how much material I'm removing here, I could have probably just parted a little bit closer. Won't have to remove as much, but yeah, it's only a few extra seconds with the form tool. There you can just see the edge being left. I like using form tools. Just remove a nice material and leave a lovely finish. Now I've got this form tool set. For the next two, I can basically just wind it straight in down the length of bed with the saddle, and it'll just give us that exact profile on all three. Nice. There it is. Now for polishing. reason polish it first is if you've put your slot in and then you come to polish, you'll rip your polishing mop to pieces. So yeah, so just put some of the soap on and then just polish away. Just light but firm pressure so it's all polished all around. And then you just give it a bit of a buff on the other wheel. Again, you might do this a couple of times depending, you know, how good a finish you want to get it to. But with the second attempt, this came up with a really nice finish. Once you're happy with it, we'll take it over and put a slot in it on the milling machine. So it is set up for slotting. As you can see, the wheel, I've never used this cutting wheel before. I forget where it came from, but it is a little bit out, so I'm going to have to have a look at it if it's that or the holder. But the holder seems to be okay. I've used that several times, so I think it's the wheel might just be a little bit out somehow. So I'm just taking it a lot slower than normal. Again, slow speed, don't use these fast, they'll just burn up. We're just taking the feed a little bit slower than normal because it's only cutting on 2 or 3 teeth basically. And usually I'll just do them in one depth, but again, being the first one, again, once I've set this, I can put a stop in and I know exactly where I'm coming to each time. Another couple of millimetres or so. Like I said, if you'd have done this slot first and then go to polish, you'd just rip your polishing mop to pieces. And that's it done. Nice and polished. Nice slot in there for the screwdriver to go in. And that's the 3 made, along with the original. So you can see they're a bit rusty and I think the chrome plating's gone on it. But we've copied them best we can. Just made the edges, you can see, a little bit stronger. Got them all polished up and ready to go in the gramophone. There we go. Job done. Well, a third done. So obviously these bolts just made from the original. I just used that for measurements, etc. We had no spec, no diagrams, just used the original. Gentleman wanted these making for his 1920s gramophone. Because I believe this holds the horn onto the main body of the gramophone. So yeah, polished them up, ready to go. So just got another 2 to make, and get him off to the chap, and he'll be hopefully happy he can listen to his 78s and so on, on his wind-up gramophone. So that's brilliant. So yeah, there we go. It's a little job. Just thought we'd show you that, a little interesting one, something a little bit different. Used a couple of layers, milling machine, and like I said, just give him a bit of a polish. He wanted him polished, so we won't need to get him chrome plate or anything. So yeah, hopefully should do the job for him. So thanks a lot, YouTubers, for watching as always. If you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing, that'd be fantastic. Tell your friends to do the same. That'd be spot on. And until next time, as always, it'll be right.